Morning. I am Judge Carter. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Kathy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Rafaela Charles, Public Defender's Office.
Thank you. And I think we just have one Spanish case, right?
We have two.
Two?
What type of case
The
is
one
it?
you came in with, and then,
I didn't come in with one.
oh,
Was I supposed to bring it?
one is in the pulled it.
I know, I read it.
Yeah, we need it.
Gotcha.
You want me to call Jill? Tell her to bring it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay, hold on. Call Jill and tell her we need that after.
And the other is in the felony warrants.
So Spanish.
Gotcha, thank
Maybe you
you.
could even give me the case number and she can just bring it
Over?
up.
Sorry.
Okay.
Possession of cannabis greater than 20.
2020 CF 11256.
And then there was a,
I have the other one. It should be there.
the out on bond fee.
Yeah, you want the case number?
Yeah.
2020 CF
Uh-huh.
9276.
Okay. 11256. Got it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go
We're
ahead
gonna get
and
an
call the
interpreter.
Spanish interpreter.
Okay.
I can do it without the actual paperwork.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Carlos Morales, State Certified Spanish Law Interpreter. Interpreter has been sworn in already. Today.
All right. Hi, good morning. We're having a problem hearing you. I don't know if you can maybe turn the volume up?
Is this better, Your Honor?
Yes, much.
Okay.
And we are in courtroom 1 at the BRC.
Okay, I'm dialing in now.
Okay, great. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name.
Joshua Yara. Joshua Yara.
Nestor Ayala.
Mr. Vieira, you were here in 20 CF 11256. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Your bond is going to be $1,000. I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case. Thank you, sir.
Understand. The volume is low. The volume is low. Está bajito. Hello. El volumen está bajito, perdona. ¿Puedes repetir? Ahora.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The defendant saying that the volume was low. Was very low.
You couldn't hear?
Está a little low.
Okay.
¿Me escucha? Sí, me repite, por favor.
You can't hear? All right.
Sí, pero no te entiendo lo que me dijiste. No me entendí la fianza.
Okay, yes, I can hear, but I didn't understand what was said. Only the bond amount.
Sure. Your bond is $1,000 on the new case, and I'm not revoking the bond on your old case.
Okay.
And you're not to possess or consume any controlled
Okay.
substances without a valid prescription.
Okay.
Okay.
No, ahora sí.
Thank you, sir. about Mr. Morales?
He's on medical bond.
Oh, okay. Mr. Interpreter, that's the last Spanish case, so we're all finished today.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Ms. Charles, this is 18 CF 11724. I'm going to appoint your office to represent Mr. Morales. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. He was arrested in 20 MM 6785 for providing false ID to law enforcement. There is probable cause. Bond is $500. His bond will be set at none on the violation of probation.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Laverna Wilson.
Ms. Wilson, you are here in case number 20 CF 11250. You were arrested for the offense of first-degree murder. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter as well as your violation of probation, and that's in 19 CF 11081. The facts in the new law offense provide the probable cause for the violation of probation. The bond in that matter will be set at none. Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you want to be heard with respect to bond as to the CF 11250?
Yes, Your Honor, we believe the defendant should be held at no bond. Looking at the four corners of the affidavit by Latasha McGuire, that this defendant caused her son to be killed in water. We believe the defendant, based on that, is proof evident, presumption great. Looking at the affidavit, she should be held at no bond, and no other conditions at this point, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Charles?
Yes, Your Honor, and the defense would be asking that the court exercise their discretion and set a bond attainable to the defendant.
Well, first of all, I do find that based upon the information that's contained in the sworn affidavit for arrest, that the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. Ms. Charles, I'm going to suggest that you reserve Ms. Wilson's right to have her bond hearing
Okay.
downtown. That's going to be in Division 11, and that way Judge Beamer can determine whether or not she wants to exercise her discretion in setting a bond after a full hearing on that issue. So bond at this time will remain at none. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Make sure your boots are buttoned up to that mask of your mouth and your nose.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Carl, all good.
Mr. Allgood, you're here in 20 CF 11303. You were arrested for aggravated battery and battery by strangulation, dating violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $500. Do you have any questions, sir, about anything that I've ordered?
No. No.
All right, sir. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Antonio Hernandez.
What is it?
Antonio Hernandez.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, just 1 second. What about Mr. Burnett? All right, I'll address that one in just a moment. Mr. Hernandez, you were here in case number 20 CF 11097. You were arrested for attempted third-degree murder, aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and battery, domestic violence. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond on count 1 is going to be set at $100,000. Bond on count 2 will be $150,000. Bond on count 3, $150,000. Bond on count 4, $150,000. I'm revoking the bonds in both of the out on bond cases. Those bonds will be set at none. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
I need out on bond.
Morrison Craft.
Mr. Kraft, this was 20 CF 11304. You were arrested for false imprisonment, dating violence, and battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, ma'am.
Hi.
Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Allison Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, I'm going to need you to move closer to the microphone. Thank you very much. Ms. Rivera, do you want to have contact with Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
And you live together?
I go back and forth, so,
You have your own place?
yeah.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No, what? Sorry.
Do you have any concerns about your safety?
No.
How long have you been dating Mr. Kraft?
Like 2 years?
2 years? Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you in the last 2 years?
No.
Does the state have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Charles?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kraft, you are not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Rivera. Do you understand what that means?
I thought, yeah.
Let me just make it clear.
I didn't hear you. Yes, I understand that.
You understand what no hostile contact means?
Yeah, I understand that.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes,
I'm going to
ma'am.
place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, ma'am?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mara Nunez is mental health.
Okay. Ms. Charles, I'm going to appoint your office. Did you want to waive his appearance?
You can waive appearance, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez was arrested in 20 CF 11299 for felony battery and for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. Bond on count 1 is going to be set at $1,500. Bond on count 2 will be $100. He's not to have any contact with the victim. He's to maintain a separate residence. He may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get his things if needed. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Arthur Austin.
Mr. Austin, you were here in 20 MM 6801. You were arrested for battery domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with the police to get your things if needed. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Austin?
So you're telling me that I can't possess a CCW?
Well, I can't take your permit away, but if you have any firearms, you need to surrender those to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail.
Return them? Like what? Like to the back to where?
Pardon me?
What do you mean return? Like if I have?
If you have a gun, you need to surrender that gun to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail. It will be returned to you upon the ending of the case.
Okay.
Do you understand the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
And-
you'll need to call the police before you go, and they'll explain to you what you need to do.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna call the police. But as far as release for pretrial, what does that mean? Like, do I have to pay a bond, or am I
No,
just
you
out
don't have to
until?
pay a bond.
Okay.
You're going to have to check in with an officer while the case is pending.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, sir.
Am I taking this? Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Ann Davis.
Ms. Davis, you were arrested in 20 MM 239 for battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You can have a one-time return with the police to get your things if needed.
Okay.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
And what does that mean?
Go ahead, Ms. Charles.
You'll be able to get out without paying your transfer. You'll just have to get instructions to call and to be.
So I'll be able to get out today.
Yes. Assuming there's no other.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Morning, Andre Kratt.
Mr. Kratt, you're here in 20 MM 6795. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things if needed. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
Any question about like a lease? Like, I should ask you or her. Gotcha.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Edwin Raimundi.
This is case number 20MM6794. You were arrested for battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you raise your right hand to be sworn in, please?
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Destiny Baez?
Ms. Baez, do you want to have contact with Mr. Ramundi?
I want no contact with him whatsoever.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, you're not to have any contact with Ms. Baez. You are to maintain a separate residence.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Is there any way that I could make sure that my children and my stepchildren are covered under this? Because he threatened to shoot my stepsons and my son that live at a different residence.
Okay, so do you have children together?
No.
Okay, so it does not pertain to your children.
How does it not pertain to my children if this altercation, he threatened to shoot them?
Because they're not a listed victim in the case.
I informed the police officers when it was going on that that was said.
They didn't, that's not how the case is written. You're the victim of the battery, so that's a separate kind of criminal charge. If you have concerns about your safety or your children's safety, you'll need to go down to the courthouse and seek an injunction.
Okay.
Okay, that's a separate process.
This courthouse?
No, this is the jail. So the courthouse is down on Orange Avenue.
Okay.
Okay? And I think it's the 3rd floor.
Okay.
All right? But in terms of this case, Mr. Ramundi, you're not to have any contact with her. You are not to, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you need to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return one time to get your things with the police,
That's
you
what I
may.
want, a police escort, because I still have belongings in her apartment.
That's fine.
I
Just
wanna
make
get
sure
out.
that you call the
Yes.
police. You're going to call the non-emergency number, and they'll explain to you how you're going to go about doing that, okay?
Yes.
Your Honor, there's also a concern because on his social media, his family and his friends are threatening to come and do things to me because he lied about things online. So I'd like it to be noted on the record and make sure that his friends and family stay away from me as well.
Okay, ma'am. So, Mr. Ramundi, just so we're clear, on the no contact order, it does pertain to third party, so you can't use a third party to contact her either. So you can't ask a family member or a friend to contact her. Just, I just want to make
okay.
sure you understand the
No,
order,
I
okay?
understand, I understand. I
Okay.
understand.
All right, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramundi, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Oh, let me go back to Mr. Burnett. That was 20 CF 10490. Was Mr. Burnett behavior, did you say? Mr. Burnett, was he behavior? Okay, I'm gonna find a waiver of his appearance based upon his inability to come to court due to his behavior. He was arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, battery by strangulation, domestic violence, battery one prior, and felony battery. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. Bond on count 1 is $3,500, bond on count 2, $150, bond on count 3, $100, bond on count 4, $150. He's not to have any contact with the victim. He's to maintain a separate residence. He may have a one-time return with the police to get his things if needed. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'll strike the no return to the scene off of the warrant. And then I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 7131. That'll be set at none. Good morning, your name?
Hazel Rojas.
Miss Rojas, this is 20 MM 6784. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things if needed. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, Ms. Rojas. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
David Swarthout.
Mr. Swarthout, you were arrested in case number 20 CT 5774 for DUI. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances, and you'll be tested through pretrial release.
Okay.
And I'm also going to place you on pretrial release, sir.
What was I'm sorry. the
You're
last
going to be
part?
placed on pretrial release.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
What that means.
Just one moment, Your Honor, please, they're getting us on the back.
Sure, no problem.
You said this was Orlando? I'm gonna give you that first. I think that was fine. You didn't.
I got a heads up, yeah, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I don't have anywhere to be, so.
Okay. What's that? It's hers? Oh, yeah, that's valid. It is. No?
Madam Clerk, what do you have next?
I have Mr. Balick.
Okay. Maybe I overlooked it, sorry. I apologize.
And bring the Sir, good morning. Your name?
Oh, hi there.
What is it? Tell me your name.
Oh, Matt. Matthew Balich.
Mr. Balick, you're here in 20 MM 6796. You were arrested for possession of a grocery cart, soliciting without a permit, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause for those offenses, sir. Is there an offer for Mr. Balick?
Withhold credit for time served.
Mr. Balick, the offer from the state is a withhold of adjudication and credit for time served. Did you want to enter that plea today?
Just time served.
That's right.
Yeah, I got bad medical problems. I need to go back to the hospital.
Okay, well, did you want to take the offer then?
What offer?
As I just told you, the withhold.
Yeah, just go ahead and plead guilty. Yeah.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form before court?
Huh?
Did you read the plea
What all
form?
did they get me for? What charges?
Did you read the plea form? Possession of grocery cart, soliciting without a permit, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of cannabis.
Okay.
Do you want to take that offer, or do you want to have a trial on it?
Yeah, just go ahead and, yeah. Can- No contest right now.
All right, Mr. Balick, did you read the plea form before court?
Yeah, I don't understand. They got me for stuff I didn't do.
Did you get a plea form?
There is no objection to ROR, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Balick, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You're going to be given a court date when you leave the jail. You need to make sure that you appear at that court date. Otherwise, there's going to be a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so that piece of paper that your lawyer just gave you, actually, I'll appoint the public defender to represent him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is the contact information for your lawyer. Make sure you contact them regarding your case.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
Batista Raleigh.
Good morning, your name?
Raleigh Batista?
Mr. Batista, you were arrested in 20 MM 6791 for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Batista?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
Mr. Batista, do you want to take the offer?
Time served?
Pardon
Is
me?
that for time served?
Correct.
Yeah, but now I got a question, Your Honor. When do I took to her? I took to her.
What's the question? Adjudication, guilty for attempted.
Mr. Batista, did you get your question answered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you wanted to accept the state's offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to the racetrack. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. Oh, I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just don't go back, okay?
Okay.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
John Ivins?
Mr. Ivins, this is 20 MM 6802. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Ivins?
On adjudication, credit for time served.
Mr. Ivins, did you want to accept the offer?
I do.
Did you read the plea form?
No, but,
All right, I think we have one in the courtroom. Could we just give Mr. Ivins the form? Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Ivins, do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form that you're giving up?
No,
Are
ma'am.
you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit, or actually for 1 day in jail. You have credit for 1 day time served. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by September 18th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence in writing, sir. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Kevin Lenoir Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you are here in 20 MM 6798. You were arrested for trespassing. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Johnson?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
All right, Mr. Johnson, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible to get a driving record for Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, you're out on bond or on pretrial release on a driving while license suspended case. Did you want to see if we could resolve that case today
Yes.
too? Okay, let's take a look.
Your Honor,
I got a lawyer though.
he's also represented by a private attorney on that case.
Oh, you are?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, then I won't do that today. So you're gonna want to get in contact with them about that case.
Bill Heffley.
Who is it?
Heffley. William Heffley.
Okay, Mr. Heffley.
You just entered into the plea.
All right, but, so Mr. Johnson, I won't touch your driving while license suspended case. You can talk to your lawyer that you hired to help you with that. But did you want to resolve the trespassing case today?
Yes. Anyway, I bond out or something.
We won't have to bond out on the trespassing case because you're gonna plead to it,
Okay.
and it'll be gone. Okay? The state's offer was an adjudication of guilt and credit time served.
And no return, Your Honor, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
did you read the plea form?
Yes.
Any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
Nope.
Are you on probation?
Nope.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to the Lynx bus station. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence in writing. Not going to take any action on the PTR case. So you'll be released today, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning, your name?
Alfredo Santiago Rivera, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in case number 20MM6792. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Rivera?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
Did you want to accept that, Mr. Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to the racetrack. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Vincent Sheriff.
Mr. Sheriff, this is 20MM 6793. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. Was there an offer for Mr. Sheriff?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
Mr. Sheriff, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, and you're not to return to the racetrack.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
Jacques Siffrant.
Mr. Siffrant, this is 20MM 6800. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence and possession of a grocery cart. There's probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Safran?
No.
It's withhold credit for time served.
Mr. Safran, did you want to enter a plea this morning?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You are going to be given a court date when you leave the jail. You need to make sure you appear at that court date. Otherwise, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a form there that your lawyer's giving you. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. It has their contact information on there. Make sure you contact them about your case so you know when you need to be in court. Okay?
Okay.
Mr. Safran, do you understand what I explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Hi, ma'am. My name is Sherry Tisler.
Ms. Tisler, this is 20MM461. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Ms. Tisler?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, I didn't get one, actually. I got something different.
They'll hand you one.
Okay, thank you.
Please review that and let me know if you have any questions.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Yes, I know about this, ma'am. Do I sign it now? Yeah, I understand it. I've read it. No, ma'am.
Did you have any questions, ma'am, about
No,
any of the
ma'am.
rights?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are not to return to the scene of the trespass. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence, ma'am. Thank you.
How you doing today, Judge Amy J. Carter?
Good, how are you? I remember you too. It's been a while since I've seen you. How are things
I
going?
gotta do that. That's my right. That's my right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just letting her know that it's my right to push the button. So I don't have to record myself while I'm talking sometimes.
Okay, well, just let me get through this and you can ask a question if you have a question, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were arrested in 20 MM 6804 for trespass after warning.
Yeah.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Diaz-Torres, where are you living now?
I was living in Alafaya Palms, the same neighborhood where I was living at before, but they trespassed me from the neighborhood because they told me that I can't live there no more because
Wait, pull
I
your
caught
mask
my.
up.
They told me I can't live there no more because I caught my cases there, so they trespassed me from my own neighborhood.
I thought you were living
So-
with your grandma.
Nah, I'm about to go to Puerto Rico with my grandma when I get out of here today.
Oh, you are? Well, you
Yeah.
can't because you have 2 cases that are pending.
I don't got 2 cases.
You
that are
do.
pending.
You have 2 cases that you're out on release for.
Yeah, but I didn't do nothing with them cases.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying you can't go to Puerto Rico right now.
Oh, so I can't leave.
No.
Oh, so I won't leave. I'm good. I won't leave. I still got 2 cases left. Okay. So wait, when you got cases pending, you can't leave.
No,
So I gotta wait till my cases are fully over so I can leave.
that's right.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. I'm happy to see you, Judge
Mr.
David
Diaz-Torres,
Carter.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
All right.
Actually,
Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure I go to court. If I gotta do, you want me to go to court or?
yeah, you definitely have to go to court.
Okay, you just gotta let me know the date, ma'am, so I can get my life.
This is our phone number. You can contact us.
Yeah, I got you. You know, I'm a grown man now. I'm
Mr.
21.
Listen, no, listen. They're going to give you a court date when you leave the jail today. You have to be back in court on that day,
I
otherwise they're
got
going
you.
to
It's
come
right
arrest
there,
you.
the Orange County Department, or the courthouse. I gotta know my other 2 court dates too. I'll be keeping in contact with my public defenders.
Don't go back to the Citgo gas station.
I won't.
Okay.
I definitely won't, man.
All right, thank you.
No action on the item?
No.
This is Bonamount. Sorry.
Arwa. Good morning, your name?
Kyle Paulin.
Mr. Pollan, you failed to appear in 20 MM 197 for a possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. State, did you want to make an announcement on this case?
What's the last name?
Pollan?
I don't have.
What-
Case number again, I'm sorry, I don't see the paperwork.
What date was it on?
20 MM 197.
Oh, it's a non-playable?
20 mm. Oh, okay. What date was the charge on?
Straight out now to null pros
Okay.
on 2020 MM 197AA.
All right, Mr. Pollan, the state's dismissed your case.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, so do I have a bond, right?
No, your case has been dismissed.
No, I'm saying as far as I seen you yesterday in court.
Oh,
for
I don't remember, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but you gave me a failure to appear. You dropped it. You said it because I had a letter,
Oh, okay, now I remember you.
and then
Okay.
they put a hold on my bond because of this
Of
right
this?
here.
So now you'll be able to go.
So I got a bond, right?
Yep, this
Okay.
case is over.
Okay, thank you
Okay?
so much.
Yep. Ms. Kennedy Swanson, you'll file that
I'll have to
paperwork?
print it right now and give it to the clerk.
Great. Good morning, sir, your name?
Thomas Scott.
Mr. Scott, this is 20 MM 333. You failed to appear for arraignment for the offense of petty theft. Is there an offer for Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, did you want to enter a plea today if possible and resolve the case?
Yes, if I can resolve it.
And have one moment, John. There's a cost of investigation of $186 to the Apopka Police Department. Let me just see if the items were covered, Your Honor.
Yeah, it looks like it was an at-large case because the summons had been issued.
I'm trying to see if there's a receipt. They have $886.85 to Lowe's.
That's the restitution?
Yes, Your Honor. And the address is 1651 West Orange Blossom Trail. So I'll make an adjudication and credit for time served, the restitution, no return to Lowe's, and the cost of investigation, I believe I said was $186.
Mr. Thomas, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you have an opportunity to read the plea form before court this morning?
No, ma'am.
Did you read it, Mr. Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You are not to return to Lowe's. You are going to have to pay court costs, which is going to include $186 cost of investigation to the Apopka Police Department. You're also going to have to pay restitution to Lowe's in the amount of $886.85. And that's the Lowe's located at 1651 West Orange Blossom Trail. And is that in Apopka?
I'm sorry?
Is the Lowe's in Apopka? I'm assuming because it was the Apopka Police
One
Department.
second, John. Yes, Your Honor, in Apopka.
And Mr. Scott, those are all going to be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think, do you need a zip code, Your Honor, or no?
Pardon me?
Do you need a zip code?
Yes, please. We'll put it in order.
32712.
Thank you. I wrote it all down. You got it?
No.
Okay.
I watched you write it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Deandra.
You Miss Tucker? Miss Tucker, I need you to pull your mask up for me, please. Nope, up. Thank you. This is 20MM 1772. You failed to appear for arraignment for the offense of petty theft. Is there an offer for Miss Tucker?
She currently bonded on that case, Your Honor.
She's already bonded on it?
Yes, she's already bonded.
Oh, okay. Did you still want to maybe enter a plea on it today, ma'am? Or do you want to do it a different day?
We could do it a different day.
You want to do it a different day? You want to go back to court for it? Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Joseph Wren.
Mr. Wren, this is 20MM 418. You failed to appear for arraignment for the offense of petty theft. Is there an offer for Mr. Wren?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Mr. Wren, were you interested in entering a plea on your case today?
If there was possible, because I've been in 10 months already.
You've been in the Orange County Jail for 10 months?
He has other cases, Your Honor.
So if I can probably, if there is one.
It's cost of investigation of $41.03. But let me. I'm not, Your Honor, this is a true victim case, and I haven't spoken to the victim. It's not a store.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see, back in 2018.
Trying to get it resolved.
And then the state's filed on.
Or just go home one day.
Mr. Wren, how long have you been here in Orange County Jail?
10 months.
Can you tell me his booking date?
October 30th of 2019.
All right, so Mr. Wren, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance as to this case because the failure to appear date for the arraignment was on September 15th of this year. The state, this is a 2019 case, and you've been in the jail since the state filed on the charge. You could have been brought to the arraignment, I suppose, from the jail. So I don't know if you have any other holds that are holding you, but when you do? Okay. You will get paperwork now that the public defender is appointed on this case. They can communicate and they can make sure that the judge knows that you're here, if you're still here, if the case gets set, okay?
All right,
All
thank
right,
you.
thank you, sir.
God bless.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
We saw each other yesterday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I told you that this was probably going to happen, or that it was going to happen because I had signed the warrant. This is 19MM 557AW. This is a violation of probation where it's alleged that you committed the new law offenses of trespass on property after warning and battery domestic violence. There's also some cases in Volusia County. The bond is set at none at this time. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Charles, do you want to enter a denial at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll enter denial on.
All right, this is Division 50. Your VOP status date is going to be October 15th at 10 a.m., and that's in courtroom 7C in front of Judge Shoemaker. Your lawyer can also file a bond motion in front of Judge Shoemaker.
So I can have a lawyer motion me before a bond before then?
Correct, that's what I'm saying. So if you want to see if you can get a bond, you have to have your lawyer file that motion in Division 50. That's Judge Shoemaker. who's in charge of your violation of probation.
Is everything grouped together now? Like,
Um,
are the charges, is it,
All the domestic cases are always in Division 50,
okay.
okay? Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Andrew Byington.
Sir, you were here in 20 MO 925. You were arrested for open container. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Bington?
Withhold credit for time served.
Sir, did you want to accept the offer?
Sure.
Did you read the plea form before court?
No.
Just let me know when you finish, sir, and if you have any questions.
No? Okay, yeah, no, everything's good.
All right. Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yeah, no, I'm
Are you
American.
okay. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
Not right now, no.
Okay. I'll accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence, sir. It must be in writing. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Barrett Coleman.
Mr. Coleman, you were here in 20 MO 926. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Coleman?
Withhold credit for time served.
Mr. Coleman, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form?
I really. Yes, no, I haven't.
Do you have any questions about anything that you read?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence, and it must be in writing, and I'm not going to revoke your release on your other case. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Prince Hall.
Mr. Hall, this is 20 MO 927. You were arrested for open container. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Hall?
Withhold credit for time served.
Mr. Hall, did you want to accept that offer, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Are you on, did you read the plea form?
I didn't get a chance. It never made it to me.
Mr. Hall, did you read the plea form before court?
He didn't get one, Your Honor, he said.
I didn't get one.
That's okay. Just read it and let me know when you're finished and if you have any questions. Mr. Hall, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 18th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How about Mr. Gaston? Dakari.
It's a felony VOP.
We were what? Oh, okay, I have
Just
all
the
the felony VOPs.
Just the felonies only, not the like the VOPs.
So the stack I have left is the felony VOPs and then the felony warrants. But if they're not here, we can do it in the second session.
So you're going to the out of county, right?
I was gonna see who they have. I know that it's kind of chaotic back there right now, so I don't want them to have to scramble. Do you guys have anybody left back there? Good morning, tell me your name.
Dakari Gaston.
Mr. Gaston, you are here in case number 20 CF 11268. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for conspiracy to commit attempted second-degree murder. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are not to have any contact with any of the witnesses. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is going to be $50,000. And in 16 CF 2333, which is a violation of probation, the new law case provides the probable cause for the basis of the violation, and that bond will be set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You will see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days on the violation of probation, sir. Thank you.
And Your Honor, can I get that VOP case number, please?
For Mr. Gaston?
Yes.
The VOP is 16 CF 2333, and then the new case is 20 CF 11268.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir, good morning. Your name? Sir?
I'm sorry, my name is David Jolly, ma'am, Your Honor.
Mr. Jolly, you're here in 16 CF 6789. It's alleged that you have violated your probation by committing the offense of DUI. Your bond, sir, is set at $3,000. You have 18 CF 5855. It's a violation of probation. Your bond is set at none in that matter. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in front of Judge Wilson on the violation of probation case. Is there an updated face sheet for Mr. Jolly?
What sheet, I'm sorry?
An updated face sheet?
Your Honor, is it possible to have a bond set in 18 CF? The 18 CF VOP case?
I am going to email Judge Wilson and let her know that Judge Young gave a bond on the VOP. It's the same offense.
Okay.
Or type of offense, to see if she wants to modify that warrant. Here's the rub on that, Mr. Jolly. I could set a bond legally on that warrant, but Judge Wilson could just reissue a warrant if she didn't agree with me, so that's why I'm gonna email her that
I'll take that chance.
information.
I'm pregnant, Your Honor.
Please, because I go to court for Tuesday, please. Because I just need to get out to feed my dog. They're not.
Wonder why.
I'm gonna lose everything I got. Like, literally, I can't sit in here like 10 days. Like, I'm gonna lose everything I got. I just started back living like a human being. I really. 'Cause it's like I'm gonna lose my job and everything I'm doing. Like, thank you. Like, 'cause I go to court.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't have to.
All right, Mr. Jolly, I have emailed the judge in your case to see if she wants to modify that warrant, okay? You'll know if you end up getting a bond set on that case that she agreed. Otherwise, you're gonna have to have your lawyer file a bond motion.
Well, is it anyway? Because my dog is at the house and my dog might die.
I just told you, I emailed her.
No, yes, ma'am. I
don't
know what
she's
else I
gonna
could,
say.
like,
Okay.
if anybody could go to my house or.
Well, you'll have to call a friend or family member
I don't
to,
have any friends or family.
Oh, you found it. Thank you.
Well, I don't.
Any action on the DUI?
No.
case?
So how am I gonna know when if I got one?
So we're not processing anything until you get back to us, right?
no, just keep it the same. And
Okay,
if so, then I can just enter an order.
okay.
I don't know when she'll respond. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Robert Kingsborough.
Sir, you are here in case number 20 CF 1279. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is 1,000. Bond on count 2 is 100. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You will be tested through pretrial release. That provides the basis for the violation of probation in 09 CF 6791. And in that matter, your bond will be set at none, sir.
At none.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Danette Linares.
Ms. Linares, this is 19 CF 13334. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. That provides the basis for the probable cause in 19 CF 13334, which is a violation of probation. In that case, ma'am, your bond will be set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You'll see Judge Whitehead in 7 to 10 days on the violation of probation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, sir, your name?
Starling. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me your name.
Lester Starling.
Mr. Starling, this is 19 CF 13189. You were arrested for violating your probation. It's alleged that you moved without getting permission. In that case, your bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases. You also have 19 CF 13189 for failing to appear for court. Your bond is set at none in that case. And you also have, is that the same one? That's the same one. All right, sir. You'll see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days on your violation of probation, sir. Thank you.
Now I have another case.
What's that?
I have another case.
You have another case that you failed to appear in.
And the resisting?
No,
resisting
that's
case?
what
Oh, did I miss one? Can I see that back?
We only got the 2 cases.
For Mr. Starling, I just have the 19 CF 13189, which is the VOP. Oh, and then it's the same case, but you did fail to appear in 19 CF 13189.
What I'm saying.
There's also a 20 mm, Your Honor, case. 20 mm 6789 AO.
20 mm 6789.
AO that's listed.
No, I don't have that case. Oh, thank you.
Can I borrow the cover sheet so I can print? Sure. Court minutes.
All right, in that case, 20 mm 6789, sir, you were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender in that case as well. And your bond is $500.
Angela Cairns.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Angela Cairns.
Ma'am, you were here for an out-of-county case out of Duval County related to possession of a controlled substance and possession of paraphernalia. Your bond on count 1 is $5,003, and your bond on count 2 is $1,003. I'll appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with coordinating with Duval County in the event you're not able to post your bond. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, your name?
Brent Levon Gaines, ma'am.
Mr. Gaines, you were here for an out-of-county warrant out of Brevard County for failing to appear in court. Your bond is $10,000. I'll appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you. We'll also reach out to Brevard County to see if they'd like to modify your bond.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, your name?
Nicholas Genovese.
Mr. Genovese, this is 18MO350. This is an out-of-county warrant out of Pasco County for possession of cannabis or paraphernalia. Mr. Genovese, are you going to be able to post your bond?
I'm working on it. My fiance, was working on posting bond this morning.
Okay, it's $518.
Yeah, I know she told me she was working with a bond place this morning. I just got to get back in touch with her when I can to see what the status of that is.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, I was gonna have her try to fit. If that doesn't go through for whatever reason, I was gonna have her pay the jail itself directly.
Okay. All right. So do you want me to see if they want to modify your bond in Pasco County, or you think you're going to bond?
What do you mean by modify it? Like lower it?
Right.
I mean, if they want to lower it, for sure. But like, I'm gonna make the bond regardless. But obviously, lower would be more beneficial to me.
Right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Genovese. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Jamison Laguerre.
Mr. Laguerre, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Polk County related to grand theft, petty theft, and burglary. It looks like it's a violation of probation. At this time, your bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you to coordinate with Polk County, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question.
Sure.
I bonded out on the charges 2 days ago, and they came and added on more charges as soon as I bonded out. And I don't have no violation of probation. I'm not on probation for no county. So I don't know why they put violation of probation. I just came from juvenile. So I don't know why they put probation. I'm not violating no probation. And I bonded out on the 17th on these out-of-county warrants. just bonded out on the 17th. And I'm not on probation.
I don't understand either. It also looks like it was a CJ case number, which is a juvenile case number. But, Mr. Laguerre, I will reach out to Polk County today on this case to see what they want to do with it. And if there is an error, they will let us know.
Well, they
Okay,
set up-
once I hear back from Polk County, you'll be brought back to court to let you know what the judge decided on your case.
And that will let me know if they will set a bond for me, please?
That's right.
Thank you.
And PD was appointed on this, Your Honor.
Yes.
You need a copy of it? No?
Mr. Salgado, did he bond? Yes, he bonded. Great, okay. We'll do the 33-day motions.
I have 2 seconds, Your Honor.
Sure, just let me know when you're ready.
Then I'm gonna have 2, I'm gonna request that 2 are rolled to second session, because it says they're gonna be walked over this morning, but I don't have word, but I'm ready on the rest of them.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I have 2 that said they're gonna be walked over this morning, but I haven't received confirmation. So
Okay.
I'm gonna ask to get rolled to second session, and I'm ready on the rest of them.
Okay, that's fine. Just let me know which ones they are when we get to them.
Yes.
12 CF 8165 Justin Tyler.
That should be granted the state filed notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 8943 Alexander Lopez.
That should be granted the state filed notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 9506 Darian Williams.
That should be denied the state filed information and request to transfer from felony to misdemeanor.
That'll be denied. 20 CF 8756 Victor Hicks.
That should be denied the state filed information on
That'll be
9/17.
denied. 20 CF 9879 Justin Leckie.
I'm gonna ask that get rolled to second session.
20 CF 9876 Justin Leckie.
I'm gonna ask that get rolled to second session.
20 CF 9894 Raymond Seeley.
That should be granted the state filed notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 9940 Latique Gray.
That should be granted the state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
All right, that'll be granted. Anything else for the first session? No?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Court will be in recess. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Carter. If I could have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please.
Kathy Kennedy Swanson, on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Rafaela Charles, Public Defender's Office.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jatarius Austin, ma'am.
Mr. Alston, you were here in 20 MM 6979. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases today. Your bond in that case is $500. You also have 20 CF 11215. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Your bond in that case will be $3,500. I am revoking the bond in 19 CF 17166. That bond will be set at none. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Corey Anderson.
You're Mr. Anderson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Anderson, you were here in 20 CF 11257. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases today. Or you have three new cases. Bond on count 1 is 1,000, bond on count 2 is 100. And in 20 CT 5776 and 20 CT 5777, you were arrested for driving while license suspended and no motorcycle license. Your bond on count 1 is 100. I will ROR you on count 2. And in 20 CF 11258, you were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle and the bond is $1,000. I'm revoking the bond in 19 CF 17391. That will be set at none, sir. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Bronson Aaron.
Mr. Aaron, you were here in 20 CF 11267. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $2,500. I'm revoking the bond in CF 20 CF 1069. That bond will be set at none, sir. Thank you.
It will be set when?
At none.
Excuse me?
Can you repeat what the bond was for the possession of the?
2,500.
It's reversed.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Daniel Baker.
Mr. Baker, you were here in 20 CF 9069. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for petty theft, dealing in stolen property in violation of a Florida Pawnbroker Act. Bond on counts 1 and 2, you will be ROR'd on, and bond on count 3. I'm going to ROR you on count 3 as well. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. You also have 17 MM 8782. You failed to appear for the offense of battery. Your bond is $3,000, sir. Thank you. Here you go. Good afternoon. Your name?
Alan Buren.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 11280. You were arrested for 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is 1,000. Your bond on count 2 is 150. And in 20 MM 242, you were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to ROR you on that count. I'm going to revoke the bond in 20 CF 8081. That bond's going to be set at none. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Bruce Francis Bland.
Mr. Bland, you were here in 20 CF 11293. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is 500. Your bond on count 2 is 100. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm not going to revoke your bond on your out on bond case. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Cornelius Bird.
Are you Tyreek Bacher? Bacher's mental health, okay. I will reset Mr. Bacher's case for tomorrow. You're Mr. Bird?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Bird, you are here in case number 20 CF 11284. You were arrested for criminal mischief over $1,000. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Wilgin Sherry.
Mr. Sherry, you are here in 20 CF 11285. You were arrested for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond, sir, is $2,500. Mr. Sherry, you're going to be back tomorrow. I signed a violation of probation warrant this afternoon, so you won't be able to bond out.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Said I will be back tomorrow.
We'll serve the warrant on you, and you'll be back tomorrow for your initial appearance on that case.
Oh, in that case, okay.
That was 2,500.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Suleika Colon Figueroa.
Ma'am, you're here in 20 CF 11295. You were arrested for trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, possession of cocaine, petty theft with 2 prior convictions, carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $25,000. Your bond on counts 2, 3, and 4 is $150. Bond on count 5 is $100. Revoking your release in 20 CF 8179. That bond will be set at none. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was count 1, Your Honor?
$25,000.
Thank you.
This is the case number. You were out on bond before on a possession of cannabis that got revoked because this was. Not until this is set.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Allison DeSanto.
Ms. DeSanto, this is 20 CF 11290. You were arrested for possession of hydrocodone and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause, ma'am. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Eddie James Edge.
Mr. Edge, you failed to appear in 20 CF 1345 for a status hearing on August 10th of this year. Your bond on count 1 is $7,000, on count 2, $150, bond on count 3, $100, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, can I ask for a bond reduction?
You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion. It's a capias, it's a bench warrant, so only the judge who issued that warrant can modify that warrant.
Okay.
Okay?
Your Honor, Eugene is next, but he's using the restroom.
Okay, I'll set, we'll set him aside for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Is he? Past Mr. Eugene?
No, he's right here.
Okay, okay. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Steve Eugene, ma'am.
Mr. Eugene, you're here in 20 CF 11300. You were arrested for robbery with a firearm, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Did the state want to be heard with respect to bond on count one?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will request the defendant continue to be held at no bond, looking at proof evident presumption great of the four corners of the affidavit by Officer or Deputy Griffin Detima. We'd also ask for no contact with the victims, no return, no weapons, no firearms.
Ms. Charles, did you want to be heard?
No, Your Honor, I'll say that for the assigned attorney.
Okay. So at this time, the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great with respect to count one. And at this time, bond will remain at none. As to count one, bond on count two is 100. Sir, you're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your lawyer can file a bond motion in Division 22, that's the judge the case is assigned to see if you can get a bond.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Hiram Matthew Fordhams.
Did you say Fordhams?
Yes, Hiram Matthew Fordhams.
Yes, sir. This is 20 CF 11270. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to Walgreens. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that as to both of the cases, Your Honor?
I only had one.
Yeah, I only have one.
Okay.
This was an add-on. I think you might have been seen yesterday.
Okay. And that was RR.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would the state agree that manslaughter with a firearm is a first-degree felony punishable by 30 with the firearm enhancement?
I'm looking at it right now, Your Honor, may I have 1 second?
Okay, because under 782.07, manslaughter is a second-degree felony. And then they have.
The enhancement with the firearm.
Right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Markia Hamilton.
Ms. Hamilton, you are here in case number 20 CF 11164. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for manslaughter with a firearm. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
I have a lawyer, but he's not here.
They would still request no contact, no weapons, no firearms, no return to the scene.
Ms. Hamilton, have you lived in Florida your entire life?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a student or are you working?
I graduated high school. I start Cookman in January. So I'm currently not working. I'm starting to go to school in January.
At Bethune-Cookman?
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you live with?
My mother. My mother.
Is she gonna help you post your bond?
Yes, they're here. Well, they're on their way now.
What does your mom do for work?
Say that again, please.
What's your mom's job?
She work at Pollo Tropical.
How many people live in your house?
Six. 5 to 6.
Okay. Are these your siblings? Who lives in the house with you?
My cousin, and my mother. My 2 cousins, my mother, and my auntie.
Okay. And do they work?
My auntie, no, she doesn't work, but everybody else, yes. My auntie's disabled.
Do you know if your mom rents or owns her house?
We live in an apartment, we rent.
Okay. Ms. Hamilton, do you have a passport?
No, I do not.
Do you have any family that outside of the state?
No, I do not.
I'm gonna set bond at $25,000. Ma'am, you're not to have any contact with any witnesses or the victim's family members, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered today?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Richard Hopkins. Hopkins?
Mr. Hopkins, you're
Yes.
here in 20 CF 11294. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. Your bond will be $150. And in 20 CF 11305, you were arrested for sale and delivery of cocaine, sale and delivery of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. The public defender will be appointed on both of your cases, sir. Bond on count 1 is going to be $7,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. Bond on count 3 is $100.
You lowered the bond?
I did.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Tobias Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, you're here in 20 CF 10885. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude. There is probable cause, or actually this was pursuant to a warrant. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to place you on pretrial release, sir, at this time. Thank you.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
No. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Jonathan LaRosa.
Mr. LaRosa, you are here in 20 CF 11301. You are arrested for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Bond on count 1 is $500. Bond on count 2 is $100. I'm not going to revoke your release on your out on bond case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Andrew McMasters.
Mr. McMasters, you have 2 cases. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You have 20 CF 11297. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle and possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. Bond on count 1 is $1,000. Bond on count 2 is $150. And in 20 CF 10655, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for grand theft of a motor vehicle, and your bond is $1,000, sir. Thank you.
Water, William, and Fish, he refused.
I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. McClish's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court. In 20 CF 11287 and 20 MO 923, he was arrested for open container. I will ROR him on that case. And in 20 CF 11287, bond will be $500. I'm not taking any action on the out on bond case. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
David McKenzie.
Mr. McKenzie, you're here in 20 CF 11306. You were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines greater than 14 grams, possession of MDMA, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of a controlled substance within 1,000 feet of a business with intent to sell, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for the offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is going to be $25,000. Bond on count 2, $150, $3, $150, $4, $150, $5, $150, $6, $100. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
How you doing, Your Honor?
Tell me your name.
Brian Perez Cave.
Mr. Cave, you're here in 20 CF 11288. You were arrested for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You'll be tested through pretrial release. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100, and I'm not going to revoke your bond in your other case.
You're not?
No.
Can I get R&R here?
No, you cannot. Thank
I don't
you.
have
Repeat those bond amounts again, Your Honor.
Please. I don't have nobody. I don't have nobody.
Give me that back.
I don't got nobody.
The bond on count 1 is $1,000. The bond on count 2 is $100.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Through.
So to come out, what I need.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Lisa Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, you have several cases. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them. In 20 CF 11298, you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. Your bond is $1,000. In 2018 CF 14432, you were arrested for violating your pretrial release conditions. In that matter now, your bond is set at none. And you failed to appear in 19 CF 13403. Your bond in that case is set at none. Thank you, ma'am. All right. I'll appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rodriguez. Ms. Charles, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's in 20 CF 11120. He was arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. The state's filed an information charging him with the offense. He's not to return to marshals, and I'm going to release him on his own recognizance at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Dylan Summers, possession of MDMA.
Thank you, Mr. Summers. This is 20 CF 11283. You were arrested for possession of MDMA. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is going to be $500. You're gonna be tested randomly for controlled substances through pretrial release. I'm not gonna revoke your bond.
What does that mean?
It means you can bond out if you can afford your bond.
If I can afford it, I can bond out. I can afford it. This month I have $514.
Okay.
Through Social Security.
Okay, so you can't use drugs. You're gonna be randomly tested through pretrial release.
What does pre-trial release mean before I leave here?
Pardon me?
I'm not sure what you mean, like, before I leave here?
You're gonna be randomly tested during
So-
the pendency of this case. You can bond out at $500.
So you're giving me, like, probation, right?
Kind of, until your case goes to court, yes. You're gonna be supervised until your case goes to court.
Okay, I'm homeless.
Okay,
So, do I come to the courthouse and get drug tested every now and then?
they will let you know when you need to come to get tested.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
Your Honor, he
you.
does have a second case, an open container.
What case is it? Okay, give me the case number, please.
2020
I don't even
MO
drink. I told them that.
924 AO.
If I have the case number, that means I already heard it. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's open. I have an open container.
You have it as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
It's the same affidavit. Okay, there's probable cause for the open container. I'm gonna release him on his own recognizance on that case. Thank you, Mr. Summers.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
David Taylor?
Mr. Taylor, you're here in 20 CF 7575. You violated your conditions of pretrial release. At this time, your bond is being set at $2,500 and no contact with the victim. Thank you, sir.
So what that means?
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Corey Allen Shamera?
What is it?
Corey Allen Shamera?
Mr. Trammell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Trammell, you are here in 20 CF 11282. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Mr. Trammell, I'll give you a moment to talk to your lawyer after I tell you why you're here, okay? You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to ROR you on count 1. Bond on count 2 will be 500. Bond on count 3 will be 100.
Yeah, Your Honor, he has 2 cases.
There's another case.
Oh, I do. I missed this one. Wait, Mr. Trammell, you have one other case I didn't address.
Hold on.
No, you have one more case that I didn't address. It's 20 CF 10481. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of MDMA with intent to sell, possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a convenience store, and possession of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a convenience store with intent to sell. I'll appoint the public defender in that case as well. Bond on count 1 is going to be $3,500. Bond on count 2 will be 1,000. Bond on count 3, 150. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Kimberly Ann Whitney.
Miss Whitney, you are here in 17 CF 11140. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant, and the state has filed an information charging you with fraudulent use of personal identification information, uttering a forged check, grand theft third degree, and possession of an unauthorized driver's license. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, ma'am. Bond on count 1 will be 2,500. Bond on count 2, 150. Bond on count 3, 150. Bond on count 4, 100. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, your name?
Brian Wynn.
Mr. Wynn, you have 2 cases. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You have 20 CF 11264. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and for petty theft. You are not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. You also have 20 CF 11289. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances, and you'll be tested through pretrial release, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
After all counts.
Both cases, yes, please. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Andy Yargo.
Ms. Yargo, you're here in 20 CF 11281. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances, ma'am, without a valid prescription, and you will be tested through pretrial release. I am going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
She does?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Yargo, just a second, please.
Okay.
That was the felony, and then there's a misdemeanor 2020 MM 241.
Ma'am, you were arrested for petty theft and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case as well. Bond on count 1 will be 100. Bond on count 2 is 500. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I think we just have those 2 33-day motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's 20 CF 9876 Justin Leckie.
That should be granted, Your Honor. We have not filed it. My only concern would be for defense is both of them are his case, the same defendant. So we have filed that information in the 2020 9879 case. So
Okay.
I don't know if defense, what they want to do, but as we filed in one, we haven't made the charging decision. The information's been typed, it just has not been e-filed yet.
So you think they're gonna file on the 20 CF 9876, is that what you're saying?
Yes, the information's been typed, it just hasn't been e-filed yet. And
I
I reached
see.
out to the ASA this morning, they didn't respond, but the other ASA in the other case did. So
Okay.
he's obviously gonna be held on one case.
Right, it'll probably be filed tomorrow. So Ms. Charles, what do you want me to do? Because he won't get any time on the case.
Right, if we can just leave him and not
So
grant
do you want me to
the
deny
R1.
it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure we understood what was happening.
Thank you.
And then 20 CF 9879 is to be denied as well?
I know. Yes.
Okay. And then court will be in recess.